Hey guys, welcome to another Mini Z video. I just thought I'd show you guys my cars that I've put LED lights into. So some of them are configured a bit differently to others. So I'll start with the standard ones. So I'll start with my Lexus SC430. Shouldn't have shone the light straight at the camera. So a good thing about some of the cars is they just have little things that you can pull out, and the LED light set, if you use the Kyosho light set, it just pokes in and secures itself there, and then you just use a little bit of hot glue or something similar to hold it in place. Hot glue is good because you can pull it off and remove them. And then I've just used a little bit of fiber tape to hold the wires out of the way of the wheels so they don't get in the way. So this one, this Lexus, had both front and rear things to pull out and just mount the lights easily, so you don't have to drill through. But some of the cars don't have those little things you can pull out to mount the lights into, where you'd need to actually drill yourself to do it. So I'll just put that Lexus aside for now and just show I've got another Lexus set up with lights, and then I've got my Nissan R390, where it's got quad lights at the rear, meaning 4 tail lights. So what I did is I used the tail lights off one set of the Kyosho lights and soldered it on to a normal set, which gives me 4 tail lights and just 2 front headlights. So I won't pop it out, but I think you can get the idea. I can probably show it from under there. Just imagine me grabbing the tail lights off one set and soldering them on to the wires going to the tail lights on a set to give me 4 lights at the rear. So then it left me with a set of headlights that had no tail lights. So I looked at my cars and I noticed that McLaren 12C definitely had things to pull out to do the headlights, which just makes it really easy, but it didn't have anything to do the rear ones. If you look at the back, it wouldn't have been obvious what to do because it seems to be all black, like not sort of clear to shine the lights through. So I thought, oh, that's handy. That actually suits what I've got left after stealing the tail lights to put in my Nissan R390. So I put them into this McLaren earlier today. So it was a really easy job. So now it's got headlights at least. So over the back there, I've got 2 all-wheel drive cars, which I don't drive on my track because setting them up with like race type tyres, high grip tyres, they just traction roll like crazy. So I've got to decide what I'm going to do with them. But anyway, I did put lights in them before I realised they're a pain on this track. MZW429R and LED light, clear and red. It says for Mini Z Sports, but it works on both the FHSS cars and it also works on the FHS ones, but one of the issues on the FHS ones is it only works when you use the throttle, which I find a frustration because it's all like, imagine that, it's like a person in a car that only turns headlights on when they're driving, whereas on the FHSS ones they stay on constantly, and all you need to do if they flicker, I'll just show you an example of that. It's just basically one of the channels on the radio that you turn it to the point where it'll be constant, and the other way turn it to the point where it's a really slow flash. So you may have noticed I've got a fire engine in one of my videos, and on the fire engine I had it flashing to sort of be like the emergency lights, but on this one, because they're headlights, you definitely want it to be on constantly. So like that, as easy as that. Just wish this camera was a bit smarter at where to focus. So car was out of focus for a fair bit of that. Oh well. And it does come with a set of instructions, and it's pretty easy. You just look for the matching port on the Mini Z chassis. That's 4 pin, looks like 4 pin, yeah, and only goes on one way because it's got one of those sort of knobs on the end to make sure you plug it in the right way. So that's pretty easy. Just a little less convenient when you're taking the batteries out, like you're taking the body off to do things like change the batteries, and you just have to unplug the lights as well. But it does look nice driving around, and I've got ideas of things I might do in the future. Like I might install lights around the track so I can have sort of a semi-nighttime driving experience, but I've trialled it just driving with the headlights on the cars and I'm just not good at it. It's too hard to see the track. I need a bit more light. Right, let's stop talking and start driving. Now, I can't remember if I said much about these Lexus cars, but I've got two of them, the Patronus you saw earlier on, and I really like how they drive. So sort of consider them, they're similar to some in the sense that they're +2 offset narrow at the front and +2 wide at the rear, similar to some of the other Super GT cars, such as the Honda HSV010, which you may have seen in one of my videos. And very soon I'm going to have the Nissan 2008, Nissan GTR from the Super GT series, which is also +2 in a video. And as you can see by what I just did there, the brake lights, when you use the brakes, light up bright. But I don't tend to use the brakes on this track because I just rely on the trail braking, and the brushed motor itself has enough sort of resistance to slow the car enough to transfer the weight. So I really like how these Lexus SC430s drive. They're not the most precise car, but they're not hard to drive at all. So they're easy to drive and drive consistently enough. Very stable. Just relaxing to drive. So some of my other cars are more precise, but some of those cars that are more precise are also a bit trickier to drive in general. And so this is just a nice car, easy for a beginner like me to drive reliably. So I'll bring it back over. And you can see that the tail lights actually I'll tilt it so you can see, tail lights actually shine up through the top a bit. That's alright. And I'll show the front again. Yeah, so you can't really see that the plug that's supposed to be able to be pulled out when it's shattered, like broken to pieces and ended up in the headlight, doesn't really matter. Can't really see it. But this Sensor Rumo I think is a stunning looking car. It's one of my favourites for sure. Just gorgeous. So I thought, well, since I had one spare set of lights, I might as well put it in this car, knowing that it should be easy to do it in a Lexus, since I'd already done a Lexus, apart from the hassle of it. It's almost like the plug was glued in, because I tried cutting around the edges and it just didn't want to come loose. So in the end, it just, as I kept trying to pull it out with pliers, it just broke and broke. So I just grabbed a drill and started drilling. But anyway, it's a really lovely looking car. And it's a bonus that it drives well, because I really enjoy looking at it and driving it. So what a gorgeous car. Just love this car. So I'll say a bit more about how it drives, because I might have sort of been a bit unflattering towards it. So yes, it's not the most precise car, but it doesn't matter because it's just so stable, predictable. So it's a good one to drive, enjoyable, so I can relax and drive this one. And it has a good enough turning circle to make it around the corners well. I'll do the traditional thing there, Mini Z out.